Oh, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a special guest, Rick Cardenas with RGV Junk Removal. Hey Rick, how you doing today?
Hey, doing good, Fred. Thanks for allowing me to be on your show, and hopefully we could educate some of these other business owners to see how you could help them out the way you've helped me out.
Good. So tell us a little bit about RGV Junk Removal. What do you do?
Well, RGV Junk Removal has been serving the Rio Grande Valley for 13 years this March. We service residential and commercial businesses, and we offer full service junk removal where you call our office, set up the appointment, we send a crew to your location, they give you the estimate. If you approve it, the guys will get it all loaded up for you. Or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, right, we do offer roll-off dumpsters. So with these roll-off dumpsters, it's a flat rate of $3.99. We drop it off at your location, you load it up, you call us and say, hey guys, dumpster's ready for pickup. We go over there, pick it up, haul it off, and you're done. So our goal is to help, the local business owners and residents keep that clutter out of their house at the end of the day. So once again, we've been in business a little over 13 years. 13 years this March. So it's really cool. It's a good time. But yeah, so if you ever need us, you can look us up online at rgvjunkremoval.com, visit us on social media, or call our office at 956-570-1161.
Cool. So at the very beginning, when we kind of met during that first year, you were pretty much doing your own QuickBooks inputting and putting it all into doing all the accounting yourself per se. So, how did you feel when you went to the CPA office and you said, "Hey, I'm ready, for you to do my income tax work"? What was that talk with your CPA on that?
Scary. No, no. Well, as a small business owner, you always feel that, man, this is something that I could do, to watch your expenses. Everybody wants to watch their expenses as a business owner, right? And so QuickBooks offered us, these online QuickBooks services, and they walk you through it very basic. Hey, add your expenses, do this, put your information on there. And so I was like, I could do this. So as I was doing it, entering information, well then guess what? We started buying equipment, started buying a truck, started having all these different expenses. Well, when I took all my taxes and all my documents to my CPA, he was like, what is this? And I was like, and I told him, well, this is what I did or whatever. But at the end of the day, it wasn't done correctly because, again, that's not my profession, and at the end of the day, it was hurting me.
Yeah. So
it was a lot of work to get this fixed, and so that's when I was referred out.
Okay. So obviously, what did the CPA actually tell you in regards to like your books, and that that he couldn't prepare your income tax return based on the way they were at that particular point in time, or
he couldn't because it wasn't categorized correctly. All my, I guess, expenses of the vehicles and all this stuff, it wasn't done correctly. So he told me, he goes, Rick, you got to get this fixed.
Okay. So then after that, I mean, how did you find me, Fred Martinez LLC?
He did recommend I find a local QuickBooks professional in the area. He did bring your information up. He says, look, these are a couple that are here in the area. I highly recommend Fred. He goes, call him, visit with him, interview him, and see if y'all are a good fit.
Okay, good. Well, when we took it over, we noticed, things, and we noticed that like the recons weren't done. You were obviously using your bank feeds. Yeah. And so you were pretty much bringing in the data into your QuickBooks. But the bank feeds are just talking to the bank, and then from there it goes into your QuickBooks. But then, we saw and usually what happens is like when people add stuff into the chart of accounts, like a brand new account for deductions, they'll typically go in there and QuickBooks will default to bank instead of an expense account. And so then you had expenses were actually sitting up on top on your balance sheet. And so with that balance sheet item, it was showing an expense account. So all I really needed to do was move those down. But then there was also misclassifications, things like that we started fixing.
Right.
So what improvements have you seen with us handling your books now?
Well, just real quick, just bringing back when we first got on the phone, it was during COVID. Um, you and I spent hours and hours and hours on the phone because remember we went back, I think 5 years to clean up all of my QuickBooks. So thank you for your patience. Because I was like, Fred, what are you doing? No, but so it did take us a while, but we went back and we organized everything. You did a hell of a job organizing everything for us. Now life is easier because now if I ever need to look at my monthly statements, weekly, quarterly statements, my P&Ls, everything's there and everything's up to date and everything's categorized correctly. There's times that I've gone to purchase more equipment, and what's the first thing they always ask you for is, let me see your P&L statements. Let me see this. The banks are asking for this.
Right.
And now I'm like, yeah, I'll email it to you right now off my phone. Boom, send it to them. What years do you need? Boom. So it makes life easier overall. And now I get to focus more on operating my business, growing my business, and letting your team manage all the stuff that I'm not good at. So
yeah. So one of the things that we did with you earlier this year was we went through your profit and loss statements and stuff, and obviously, being pretty outright with you and me, our pricing was kind of becoming an issue in regards to what we charge for our services and things. But by doing some review, we were able to find, ways that you could make additional revenue, right?
yes.
And that way then it could offset some of those costs associated with having what I would call a good bookkeeper or something like that. But one of the things that we also talked about a little bit earlier was that you were, by looking at your financial statements, and that you what's the reason behind you wanting to see your financial statements?
As a business owner, you want to know where you're at. You want to know what you could work on to improve your profits. You want to see where are your expenses. In our case, it's some of our biggest expenses are our landfill fees, and we're always looking at what could we do to cut that expense. Our fuel charges, and of course labor. Those are things that you're able to look at when you're able to dissect your numbers once your QuickBooks is completely organized. And then going back to what you were saying about you helping us to increase our revenues, you look at all that. And that's one of the things that I do appreciate is it's not something you're just saying, hey, I need for you to pay me this, I need for you to pay me this. You're actually out there to help and say, hey, Rick, if you do this, it could help you generate an extra 2, 3, 5% of revenue. And it could offset this expense that you already have. So, and those are things that as a small business owner, we appreciate. And I'm sure there's a lot of other bookkeepers and stuff like that they're not sharing that information. And that little 5% is big to a small, to a business owner like myself.
Well, I think you've kind of hit everything there, but I mean, what advice would you give to small business owners?
Don't make the mistake that I did, saying, hey, I'm going to save myself money by doing it myself, because at the end of the day, it ends up costing you more money because you're not able to manage your business the way you should. You're not able to see what your actual expenses are, what your actual profits are. I guess you could call them fake numbers. They weren't real. Now with the investment that I made, having Fred Martinez and his team on my side, it actually helps me. It's helping me grow my business. It's helping me dissect my business. So it's all an up and up. So don't do the same mistake that I've made and trying to fix stuff on my own and do this, because all you're really doing is making more of a mess. I'm a professional in the junk removal industry, and we've been doing it for 13 years. And that's what I need to focus on to grow my business, and let the professionals here with Fred manage all the numbers because they're great at it. They do an awesome job, and it's just that's not my cup of tea, and there's nothing wrong with it, so.
That's great. Well, Rick, I really appreciate you being here with us today. Again, thank you very much for listening to our little YouTube channel, and don't forget to push that subscribe button.